So here's our two cameras. Hopefully you chose, one of these two designs. And again, it can be with any sort of container. Again, if we look at those, they really are basically the same shape. It's just, two different configurations of how we're going to do it. So a couple of other things. If you are having some troubleshooting problems, this video will really kind of help, a little bit of that problem solving. You may be running into some issues, and I won't be there necessarily to be able to kind of take a look at it and figure it out for you. So I want to go over some major things that could be causing issues with your camera and a couple of quick solutions that might kind of benefit it. So the last one we just made was the Pringles can. And so one of the things with the Pringles can, it is sometimes, it's, with your face, it's easy to kind of get it in there and block the light and be able to see. But if you want to be able to use your camera, sometimes it really does let it, like the camera is going to only block a part of this, and light's going to be kind of going through there, and so it might make it really hard to see inside, especially this one's like silver on the inside, so a lot of light's bouncing around inside there. It'd be much better to make it a black inside, but without having to do that, there's another solution we might be able to use. So we talked a little bit about tinfoil, so we might be able to use just a piece of tinfoil. And what I can do is basically just tear off a little sheet. And what I'm gonna do is, this is, it's light proof, so I'm just gonna wrap this around this outside part here. And then I'm gonna kind of leave an opening, over here. So let me see, I think I've got another camera. Here we go, so here's another old phone. And so then if I wanted to go and, be viewing through here, I could get this inside and, I could kind of block the light. I still want to be able to see the screen, but the great thing about the tinfoil is it's very malleable, so I can kind of, clear that off, or if I need this to come down lower, I can kind of keep adjusting that so that I can still view, but it's going to block that light around that part of it. So something like that would be just an easy way, to keep that light dark, because again, camera obscura is a dark chamber, so we need there to be as much light restricted as possible, so that really the only light that's coming through is from our pinhole, and then that way that's the only part that's going to be forming the image, and it's not going to wash out our overall picture. So something like that might really be helpful. Another way that we might be able to use the tinfoil, again, I was saying here, this is leaking a lot of light, right? There's still light that's coming in through this way, even though this part's blocked, but this is still illuminating. There's still a lot of light that could go there. If I didn't have something like some Gorilla Tape, again, I might want to just use tinfoil. Most of us have some tinfoil at home. So I'm going to grab a nice big piece. There we go. So that's coming all the way out to here. Now, if I was worried about some light that was still there, I could still put tape around that, and that would then seal this part up. I don't think it's necessarily going to be needed, but that may help a lot as well. And again, if I wanted to do something where I want to use the phone, I might want to actually just cut a small hole, maybe, fold this up, and then maybe cut a square out, something like that. So I left a little bit of those tabs so it might still be able to lock. There we go. And then that way, if I wanted to be able to use the phone to be able to see, I can just look, okay, well, where's that hole? Put that, so it's lining up. And again, if I wanted to make sure that there's not extra light leaking, this is malleable, so I can go, like that. And now I've got that as a way of being able to, look and see what's going on. And this should cut the light significantly. And again, I could wrap some tape around that outside front part if I wanted. So, that should significantly cut the amount of light that's going to be leaking through there. And that'll really just constrain our light to there. Now again, in this one, I started off with a very small pinhole, and then I opened it up a little bit. Now that's going to let in a lot more light as well. But if it's seeming a little bit dark, or sorry, a little bit blurry, and I want to try another way, or let's say you use sometimes you might use like a cardboard box, right? And that might have a significantly thicker walls, and so just a pinhole or even a pencil hole may not be very clean. Like there's enough paper that's kind of pushing through there that could cause issues. So another option would be just, I could also cut a hole here. And notice that does reveal that when I had pushed my hole through, it was actually going through those two layers. And again, that's what I was kind of talking about in the beginning. if it is hitting those two layers, you know, if they're offset, it could also be blocking the light a little bit. So this is another way to kind of clean that up. So I'm gonna open that up just a little bit more so I can get rid of that hole. So now I've got a nice big clean opening. Now that I could try that, but it may be too big to make a very sharp image. So if I wanted to, I could use something like, you know, a tinfoil can. I could use aluminum foil as well if I didn't have, you know, an aluminum can sitting around. I'm just gonna do it with scissors really quick. I don't need a very big piece. I just want to cut this so that it's bigger than the hole that I just made. And just to double check, you know, you can see, yes, that's definitely going to cover the whole thing. Now, when I go to make a pinhole through this, I would put something underneath it that's going to allow the push pin to kind of go through it. Let me take a look and see if I have any cardboard handy. All right, not cardboard, but this is just a little bit of some packing material. So again, you know, if I wanted to make a nice clean pinhole, I'm going to use this T-pin. Now I can just basically just lightly press and kind of drill through there. And that should give me a nice, you know, round, clean hole. And I know it's not going to be blocked by, you know, by any of the edges, you know, that are here. And then I just need to basically tape that in place. So now we've got a nice clean pinhole. We know it's not getting blocked by any of those edges, and that might significantly improve our ability to be able to see that image. Because really what we're trying to see here is, you know, that we're able to form an image inside of these very simple devices. So hopefully that'll help if you are having any issues, things don't seem like they're quite working the way that you think that they should. Try some of these solutions. They might help kind of point you in the right direction. If you have any problems, you can always, again, use your camera, record what it is you're trying to do, show me the camera, what you've made, send it to me directly through Canvas. I can then take a look and I can give you some feedback as well. So looking forward to see what you guys create, and hopefully you know, this will work great for you, and we'll be able to start to move on to our next part where we're going to see what else we can do to start to improve the camera as well. All right, see you guys soon.